see I'm able to get this area that I can't really get with my hands. Alright guys, so as we can see from the from my back, I got it done not too long ago, and now I'm going to be doing something on my own and trying it out for myself, and that is actually washing the back by myself. So far, up until this point, I've had my mom do it for me, most of the majority of it, and the only con with that is you rely so much on somebody else to be there for you, and unfortunately for some of us, we don't have that option. Some of us live alone, or some of us just don't have those people there that are willing to do this for us. So what I have right here, and what I kind of have in mind to plan to use this tool to help us out, will be so beneficial, I think, for those people that definitely need this product and this tool, for those people that don't have somebody at home to help them like I did with my mom. This is just a regular kind of back bathe thing. You can find it at Walmart. This is where I got it. You can also get it at Dollarama. This one I like too because this one has, like, even though it's a pointed edge, it's very smooth. It does not scratch. So you don't have to worry about it going ahead and scratching the skin. But even then, that's going to be protected anyways. And then we're also going to be using is saran wrap. And the next step, we're going to be using plastic, elastics, and also paper towel as well for your ointment or you're applying a moisturizer. Obviously, we can't use this product by itself because this type of material is a great thing for harboring bacteria once used inside for a while. And you do not want to put that on an open wound, because you will transfer it and it can lead to infection. And also, once you start flaking, scabbing, this type of material, if you can see, this stuff will catch your scabs and it will rip them out no problem, and taking out any premature ink that is still on those scabs, leaving you with little spots here and there missing of ink. So we gotta fix that, and that's why we have the saran wrap. We're gonna wrap this thing around in saran wrap. And why I'm gonna do that is, one, obviously now it is clean. The saran wrap is, hasn't been touched by anything. So now that whole outside will be clean. You don't have to worry about it being caught with any of this little material, so it's smoother. But also this material is very spongy, so it will give you kind of a good thing to kind of conform to the body and help, spread around the soap or the moisturizer or the ointment using this type of product without having to worry about, again, the bacteria being transferred or kind of it catching on those scabs or anything else like that. All right, so now that you are in the shower, what you're gonna wanna do is turn the water on, make sure that it is about lukewarm, maybe a little warmer, maybe a little less, depending on how sensitive your skin is. The new tattoo can be a little sensitive. I like to leave it around lukewarm. But then what you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and make sure that your soap, the bar soap that you are using, I like to use foam, but for this kind of demonstration, we're gonna be using bar. You wash it off, make sure the bar soap has got a couple layers of the, any kind of bacteria off it. You're gonna wash your hands as well. Then you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna wet your back, and then you're gonna go ahead, apply the soap onto that utensil, that tool that we just made and using for the back, and then that is it. So now that you can see, it's foamy, that's how it's supposed to look. Now what you're gonna wanna do, go ahead, put a little bit of water just to get it, nice and lathered up. Your back's nice and wet already. One more time, just make sure, so you got it. And then you start gently going over the back. You see I'm able to get this area that I can't really get with my hands. So right there, able to get under here, go lightly, circular motions if you got to. And you're gonna see little flakes come off here and there, that's okay. Just continue it, just wash it again, clean your back off once, and then do again, repeat. Get it nice and lathered up again. And then try to just go. And if you can, put your hand there. And then just keep going in circular motions till you get the whole area. If you can reach it with your hand, by all means go for it. So I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Like there. Stuff is coming off. And that is totally fine. So now that we are done that, you just simply wash the back off. And we are good. Now we're going to move on to the next step. All right, so now that we got that done, now we're going to take that wet one off. You can see it dripping down. Now this one might be a little wet, and this is when you might want to go put another piece on. You can if you want, or you can go ahead and start using the paper towel to dry your back off. But the thing is, if this is wet and you start putting paper towel on, it's just going to soak it up, and then you're not going to be able to soak as much water up on your back as you would if it was dry. So I'm going to put another piece of saran wrap just to cover that wet with some new dry stuff, and then we're going to go ahead to the next step. This time it doesn't got to be perfect, it's got to be enough to cover the wetness of it. So now this should be dry. What you're going to want to do now is grab a paper towel and then just wrap it around. like that. But it's not going to stay, obviously. So that's why we go ahead and we use elastics. So right there, as you see, elastic one holds it, and you're going to do the bottom. And then there you go. So one side is obviously going to be your main one to use, and then you still got another little bit to go ahead and use up any extras, you know, to get any extra water, moisture. And then what you're going to do is just start going and patting it. And you're going to see that this thing takes off all the moisture. You can even roll it. You can see the water come off. And I'm going to take this off now, so I'm going to leave the elastics on because we're going to use another piece. And I'm going to show you guys that yes, it actually did take off quite a bit of moisture. It's wet there. Obviously some spots it could have been done a little bit better, but that's why we got more paper towel and we're just going to do it again. And it can be a personal preference in terms of how you want to lay it out. You can lay it the long way and put 2 sheets back to back and then have to do that way, or you can just do one sideways like this. Don't be afraid to touch it because your hands are clean, the elastics are clean, the paper towel is clean, the saran wrap's clean. So everything is clean, sanitary, don't have to worry about infecting your tattoo. And then again, we got a brand new sheet. This time you can even go, put a little bit of pressure. Nice and wet again. Right there's a dry spot still, so we're gonna use that spot. Now we got one more step, and that is applying the moisturizer or the, you know, ointment if that's what you're still using. So now we're gonna take the elastics off. Then finally, like I said, this piece is still clean. We put a new one on, and this is where you're gonna wanna go. Use your moisturizer. I am using this right here. And you're just gonna wanna start spraying it throughout. Spread it. And that's what I always say, use the dabbing method. Get as much surface area as you can. This is gonna take a little bit of time. This time, you're gonna get some hand. You're gonna be able to reach somewhat, so just try to get it on your body a bit, pat it, and then the rest, just go ahead, and it'll transfer on. Again. And that is it. Now you can go a step further and put paper towel back on with the elastics and go ahead and pat anything up that is left over, you know, because you don't want to have too much. But here's the thing, with the back, you're usually wearing a shirt. That shirt's going to take up anything that is left over. It's going to kind of just take off that extra moisture and you're going to be fine. So don't even worry about it, to be honest. And then after you're done, take that one off. That's the moisturizing one. This is the second one we put on. Comes up like that. So you got 1, 2, and then this, it's nice and dry. It is still perfect. There's gonna be no bacteria on this, and even if there was, we're keeping it under and we're kind of hiding it again with that saran wrap and all those layers. This is the best way I found. I'm still working on it. I'm still trying things out, but you know, for somebody out there that is wanting to do something like this and maybe doesn't have a helping hand at home, although this does take much longer than having a helping hand, this is another method and a great method if you are alone and to do by yourself and heal your tattoo and your back tattoo.